Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and can you believe it? We've owned this 22 Acura RDX for 2 years already. Actually, probably more than 2 years, right? I think I bought it summer of 2022. It is now, I'm filming this in February 2025, so this is more of like a 2.5 year review probably than a 2-year review. So a lot has happened with this car, and we'll go over everything in this video. I'll tell you why we chose this car over an Acura MDX, and we'll talk about competitors such as the Cayenne and the Porsche Macan. So again, this is a 2022 Acura RDX, which is a size smaller than the MDX. It comes with a 2-liter 4-cylinder, makes 272 horsepower, 280 foot-pounds of torque. Again, no matter what trim you take, Advanced, A-Spec, the Tech package like this, or the base, you get that same performance. There's no extra horsepower in any of the trim levels. You're stuck with this engine, but it's got a very good torque converter, 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, front-wheel drive, believe it or not, is standard. It costs $2,000 to get all-wheel drive. Unless you get the A-Spec or the Advanced, then all-wheel drive is standard. So this car out the door was exactly $47,000, and we paid full price because back in 2022 everything was selling over sticker, and luckily I was doing a lot of videos for Acura dealer, Montclair Acura in Verona, New Jersey during the time. So I said, hey, where's my discount? And they said MSRP is a discount because we're selling these cars for $5,000 over. So, but it's been a fantastic car. We're going to go over a lot of stuff, and I can show you we got some damage to the car. There was a hit and run accident. Somebody hit us and fled. We'll go over that in a minute. So what does the Tech package give you? The base starts, I think, $3,000 or $4,000 less than this car. In both of these versions, the base and the Tech, you can get in front wheel drive. I've never seen it here in the Northeast. Every car has the $2,000 option for the all-wheel drive. Now, if you get the A-Spec, it looks like a handling package. You get the bigger wheels and tires. You get the interior where you can get like a red or a white interior. A-Spec version looks sharp and comes in some like NSX colors. And then there's the Advanced package, which is the highest trim level. I believe the A-Spec is $3,000 more than this car, so 50 grand. And then the Advanced pack is another $2,000 over that, which would be 52. The Advanced pack will give you ventilated seats, I believe heated seats in the rear and a heated steering wheel, and actually an adaptive suspension, where this does not have that. Tech package over the base gives you navigation, it gives you the front and rear parking sensors, it gives you the wireless charging, you also have wireless Apple CarPlay, and a much nicer interior. So you get the leather interior, and you have, I believe, different colors available. So this is an espresso interior, and we actually waited for this color combo. So we didn't order the car, like you don't order it from Japan, but there's so many cars coming into the Acura dealers, you kind of tell them, hey, I want a Tech package with the espresso interior, and this outside color is called liquid carbon. So it's a gray color. It's actually really nice. It's a little dirty from all the salts on the road, and we have a couple dents here or there. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, so this was my driving position. And again, I think the Tech package is well worth it because you get these sport seats, you get the leather interior, you get the wireless charging. I believe you get the heated seats, maybe part of that package as well. So it's worth the couple $1,000 upgrade. Now, I'm 6 feet tall, and I can easily sit behind myself. This is a very smooth riding car. You have high profile wheels, unlike the low profile tires that you would get in a German car. So the road is nice and smooth. Also available on the Tech package is you get the upgraded stereo, this ELS Studio stereo system, and it's a sound system, and it sounds fantastic. So that alone I think is worth the upgrade over the base car. And again, 6 feet tall, I can easily sit behind myself, no problem. I can be in this car for hours. It is that smooth. Gas on the left-hand side, which is typical usually of a Japanese car. And again, super handling all-wheel drive, it says it right there. Big trunk, these seats fold down, so if I had to go buy, I don't know, a ladder or some garbage cans from Home Depot, which I've done, and easily Very easy to one switch on each side and they fold right down, no problem. You have a big trunk. Advantage of the MDX is I believe you can get a third row seat. The MDX is only a couple inches longer and wider, but it feels like it's 3 feet wider and longer than this car. We test drove them back to back. This car had, I believe, similar power because the MDX is heavier. This car is already about 3,800 pounds in the tech package. The other packages are even heavier. The base model is about 3,750. Now let's go inside the car. We'll go for a drive and I'll tell you all the good or bad things about the car, and we'll go over maintenance as well. All right, so very easy when you get in the car. Somehow my phone case broke on my iPhone as well. All right. So if you've seen my video of the newest Acura NSX, it actually, the same buttons. If you have I'm sure a few people have bought the NSX, as we know, but if somebody bought a 2020 NSX, you know how to work all this here. So I'm not crazy about some things. The backup camera is very good. You can kind of line up the sensors here. And also, you remember you have front and rear sensors and just a back camera, not a front camera. You got really good ground clearance with this car. It'll tell you who's in the car and who's buckled in. So God forbid you have a child in the back seat or a pet, you don't forget about them. The push button is fine. So here the D and S is drive and then sport. So if you want a little extra power, a little more sport, a little more throttle response, you press that. One thing that's an issue with this car is the remote start. So you pay a subscription, essentially a yearly subscription. It renews automatically if you don't cancel it through your phone. And the downside to it, it's roughly $10 a month, so $120 a year. I think if you pay for a year up front, it's cheaper. Downsides to it, it only starts the car. It won't run the heater. It won't run the defrosters. It won't run the heated seat. So I believe maybe the advanced package has something on that, a trim level above this, but the tech package does not. So in the winter, when your car's got a half an inch of ice on it, you can start the car all you want. It won't melt it. You still have to go out there and scrape, which I think defeats the purpose of a remote start. Now, one good thing also about a remote start, if it's a hot 90-degree humid day, you could start to get the air conditioning going, but somehow it doesn't do the heat, the defrosters, or the heated seats. Now, one way to trick it we found is you could run it twice, but then you're running your car for 20 minutes before you use it. So that's probably doing more damage to the engine to try to get some temperature in the car. But we had a Jeep Grand Cherokee before this. It was great remote start. You get in the car nice and toasty. Even my BMW, and BMW didn't go to remote starts to 2020. My 2020 BMW M340i xDrive, you do the remote start, you go in the car 10 minutes later, nice and warm. All right, so let's take this for a drive. Very rarely do I use sport mode. Apple CarPlay is wireless, so my phone's not even plugged in. You have a wireless charger underneath the center console, so you don't lose any space. And you have a couple USBs. This car uses USB-Cs. It's a 2022, where my Panamera, which is 2017, uses the regular USBs. It's very smooth. This would be a rough ride in my Panamera, where it works very well here. I tell you, if I was going to go into New York City, Cross Bronx Expressway, Yankee Stadium, all those terrible roads, I would definitely take this car over my car. You got really good ground clearance. It's a torque converter, not a dual clutch, so it's very smooth in traffic, very smooth in the pickup line. You can easily fit 3 people in the back, so it's definitely a 5-seater. Again, you don't have a third row like the MDX does. I noticed sometimes the throttle around town is a little abrupt, like it was there. You got this big sunroof. I won't demonstrate it while I'm driving, but you do have a 2-pane sunroof. Visibility is great out of this car. The 8 pillars aren't too big. It's a very safe car. You probably get in the 20s around town and probably in the 30s around the highway. Drives more like a car than a truck, because I don't consider it a truck. It's an SUV. I think it's the perfect size. I think the MDX is just too big. It would take up too much room in my driveway. Even if you have passengers all the time, if you don't need a third row seat or a larger trunk, I think the RDX is the car. Resale value, this car is only about 2 years old with 22,000 miles. And the resale value without an accident is probably around $30,000. they sell a lot of them. So the resale value, just like the MDX, goes in the toilet pretty quickly, which it does for any four-door car. They used to have great leases. So when we bought this car in 2022, this is when they were selling for $5,000 over sticker. We got it for MSRP. But even at MSRP, 3-year lease, 12,000 miles a year, the lease payment was like $650 a month. So we just bought it. We could buy it for $650 a month or less, depending how much money you put down. A couple years before that, in 2019, so before the car shortage, before the pandemic, I could have leased this car with minimal down payment for like $435 a month, the same 3 years. So the lease payment in those couple of years went up significantly, over $200 a month. Now I see ads on TV. You could probably lease this car in the high fours before taxes, before sales tax, with about $5,000 down. So I think the Acura dealer is like $49.90 down and a lease payment of like $489 or something. So you add tax, you're probably in the low fives. We bought this car with money down in the mid fives. Now I like this a lot better. So you'd be tempted to get a Macan. The problem is a base Macan, and the Macan does handle better than this. The base Macan is 70 grand. You really want the S Macan with the bigger engine, but that's probably pushing 90 grand. Again, this car was $47,000. I've gotten a lot of base Macans and a Macan S as loaner cars, and I would take this over a base Macan any day. I would take a Macan S over this, but then I would look for a used one to kind of equal this $47,000 price. Now, this was the price in 2022. I'm sure it goes up at least $1,000 a year. So you're probably looking at 50 grand in 2024 for the tech package. I would get the tech over the base because you get the leather interior, you get the sound system, you get the better seats, you get the wireless charger, you get the front and rear sensors. I believe it's also a better backup camera. That guy just went right in front of me. I'm going to do a video of just people cutting me off. But it's been super reliable. So we've only done oil changes so far, an oil change every 10,000 miles. We drive this car about 10,000 miles a year. There is, I believe, a differential fluid that needs to be changed. That's like $1,100 to do that, and I forgot when it has to be changed at 10 or 20,000 miles. But that is really the only thing outside regular maintenance. They're Acuras, they're Hondas. Acuras are known for their service. I've had good service with this car and bad service. So really shop around for an Acura dealer. But that's what Acura was known for. It was the Honda's luxury brand, but they were having a whole new way, easy peasy service. Now, just for an oil change, an oil change at the dealer costs $120. Now, look how smooth it'll be over these railroad tracks compared to any of my cars going over the railroad tracks. And they're very uneven, but it's still a fantastic ride. Again, you have a high sidewall. You could hit potholes and not get a bubble in your tire, which you would in a German car. Maintenance is easy, $120 oil changes at the dealer. Now, they won't give you a loaner car for an oil change. You either have to drop it off or wait for it. And again, my biggest gripe with this car is just the remote start. I've never heard of, not only do I have to pay for a remote start, which is like a $100 option on a Jeep and you have it forever. It's that $100 one. It's the same thing with BMW. Remote start is like, I don't know, $200, $250, and you have that forever with the car. Here you have to pay $10 a month for the rest of your life, and it doesn't even do anything. It doesn't even do the remote. So that's probably the only downside of this car. And then resale value. It's a very good car. If you can't afford a new one, certainly shop a used one. In 2022, I think they had a couple improvements over the 2021 model. One of them was wireless charging and wireless CarPlay. For example, my daily driver, the Panamera, is a 2017. The CarPlay only works when it's plugged in. And that's about it. So maintenance has been cheap. The tires are lasting a long time. Very reliable. It's never been to the dealer, back to the dealer for anything except required maintenance, which is an oil change, which is $120. And it's a car that I would drive from here, New Jersey to California, no problem. And I think, honestly, we should keep this car for years to come. We can always get, a replacement or something for the Panamera. But I think this will be the workhorse where we can just take it on long road trips or take it into the city and not have to worry. All right, guys, if you have any specific questions, let me know. I'll do more update videos on this. Sorry I waited 2 years to do an update video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you have Glenn's car collection now 7 days a week, so full-length video every Monday. And then I do YouTube Shorts Tuesday through Sunday. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook as well, at Glenn's Car Collection. And enjoy. Have a great day. One thing I don't like about this car is this signal. Like, BMW spends that millions of dollars to make the chimes like jing, jing, you know, that warning light you get in BMW, you're afraid it's your check engine light, or, you know, you got the dreaded rod bearings went or something like this. What I don't like about this car is the signal. That signal just drives me crazy. Say I'm sitting in traffic and I'm going to make a left or right turn, so I start signaling early. I shut the signal off. It just goes right through me. Let me know what you think about this signal in the comments below. All right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you next time.